All right, welcome to my Epic Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because um I'm just thinking. I didn't post yesterday, did I? Let me see. Hold on. All right, so I'm glad I did check. Okay, yeah, I didn't post yesterday because there wasn't anything really worth posting, and you guys know I don't like wasting time, yours or mine. So there was one article that, and I'll get to that. Okay, let me see. Let me do the little intro stuff I'm supposed to do. Oh, and thank you. I guess I'm gonna have to start saying hit the like because there's another video with 132 likes, I think it was. So thank you. All right. The best place to go, in my opinion, to get this information is the blog. The blog is at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. Oh my gosh. myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. Okay. But anyway, this is not important because you don't have to type that in or anything. But wherever you are watching or listening, look for a prompt that says more info, intro, description, open, something of that nature. And if you click on that, another box opens and it'll have a link directly to the blog. And the blog is free. You don't even have to put your email address in. Okay, Rumble, I'm my FX Buddies, Spotify.com. I'm my FX Buddies everywhere except YouTube that I post. I post as my FX Buddies. All right, and I thank you for the liking and subscribing and all of that. It helps and it's free for you. Um, I'm thinking it just shows YouTube, hey, people like this, and you should promote it. So, yeah, I think that's what that does. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to do like a summary because today was May 17th. It was the Arab Summit, and I have articles on it, but it's really not, it has nothing to do with the RV. There was no mention of currencies, nothing. I did watch it. It was good. It was a good day for Iraq. The leaders, state heads, and kings and prime ministers, all that stuff from the other countries did come. They voiced their opinions. I gotta tell you, it's looking bad for Gaza. That's the four-letter country, and I'm leaving a word out. Um, Although they pour their hearts ache, and the other leaders, right? Clearly, their hearts ache for what's going on to the inhabitants of Gaza, but they don't want to take them. they they don't want to what is it? Replace, not replace. Re I can't think of the word. So there's a fund that Sudani put together. They raised $40 million, I believe. 40 million, 40 billion, something, to help rebuild, but it doesn't say that they want to be in control of it. So I think what's going to happen, we're going to do it, but it's going to look like Iraq is heading it up, especially the next 4 years, if you know what I mean. Well, 3.5, right? Um, yeah, that's interesting. But again, it has nothing to do with the RV, right? So it went off without a hitch. Let me see. I was going to show you. Uh, that's not what I was going to show you. The they opened a new power station to make sure they had power for the summit. So if you're a citizen, wouldn't you be like, okay, if you can make sure all these hotels and these meeting places had full power, uh, why can't you do that for the rest of us, right? And want some answers, right? At least ask the question. You're probably not going to get an answer, but at least ask. Well, let's see. I don't think I'm going to find the picture. But since I'm here, let me show you this. This is Abu Dhabi, right? This is UAE, excuse me. Look at this. Making energy great again. Now, this article came out Friday, I believe, but I didn't pay attention. I go back and I look at things, and I saw that today, and I said, oh my gosh, how did I not see that? I overlooked it. But yeah, see, there's our flag, and that's the UAE flag. Making energy great again. Well, shoot, I thought I had it easy to find, but I don't. But oh wait, maybe it's here. You know what? Let me see. I think it is one of these. Now it's just principle, right? I tried to be in order. Here we close that one. Nope, I'm not going to be able to find it. But the electricity people, they took a selfie, a power selfie, a victory selfie is what it said. Victory selfie, because they were able to keep the power. Also, the security people, they're pretty proud of themselves because nothing bad happened. Everything was good. Traffic, they did have a little bit of issues with the traffic, but they started telling the citizens, now you know what's happening, so go another route. And they did. But yeah, so it's over. Now, what the surprises were, well, our president did not show. Our president is back. He got back to America last night. But MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, he did not show. He ended up sending his representative. So there were others who didn't show either. Either the state head or head of state didn't come, or they sent a representative. But it seems what's his name? Sudani wanted the heads of states. But however, there's some other meetings taking place in other parts of the world. So maybe that's why they weren't there. I don't know. But so there's a little bit of bickering and feeling disrespected. The speaker, the House, well, not the House Speaker, but the guy who speaks for Sudani, he came out with some pretty bold words, which I'm not even going to cover. But yeah, but other than that, it was good. It was great. And I'll go over some of the things that were said. Okay, but for now, what I wanted to cover, it is Saturday, May 17th, and the son Barzani arrives in Washington after an official invitation. So there's quite a few articles here. He probably is not going to meet with our president, but still, there's some important meetings. So the Prime Minister of the Kurdistan Regional Government arrives in Washington on an official visit, heading a high-level government delegation. I have yet to see any pictures of those people, but I believe they are there. So he's there today. He's going to meet with a number of investors, businessmen, and prominent economic figures in the U.S. And he'll go meet with members of the Kurdish community. So yeah, so isn't that crazy? There's supposed to be one Iraq, right? But we already had whoever the other guy that was just here was. Look how quickly I forget. Anyway, that person was there. And now we have someone from Kurdistan doing pretty much the same thing, except they're representing Kurdistan. But we know they have a special relationship with us, right? Ken Shockley, whoever that is. The Kurdistan region has proven that America can depend on it. So he's a former person anyway, but for some reason they wanted his input. And if you want to read these articles, you know where they are. They're all on the blog for free. And so they are going to talk about. Oh, I thought I saw it. Well, the names that I don't say. Here's one of them, Lyria, right? And the is followed by another is, that group. So they're having some serious conversations. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if anything comes of it. Here, this guy, he's also he's a former U.S. Director of National Intelligence on Middle East policies. And he's like, hey, a direct meeting between son Barzani and our president is essential, but I don't think it's going to happen. And look at this. I thought this was an interesting statement. Now, bear in mind, he's a former member of the government, but quite possibly, he knows something, right? So he noted that the new administration is somewhat disturbed by Iraq because it is closer to Iran and not economically independent. And yeah, is that going to happen? Is it ever going to happen? I don't think so. So then it goes on to say the visit will have an important agenda. He added that Prime Minister son Barzani is expected to discuss the situation in the Middle East, developments in Syria, and oil exports to global markets. So see, those are big topics, right? And there will be a meeting with the Treasury, of course. And this is so weird. See this? There's something else. There's two articles that are out, but I'm sure you can tell I'm talking quietly, right? And they seem to be old, so I'm going to study them a little more. But I do want to discuss them because it's very curious that they would have them out. It's nothing about money. Just to show you how, how there always are crazy rumors in Denarland, right? And there was one that our current president was still really president, right? Remember? Well, these two articles would seem to be saying that. Okay, if they're in Iraq's news, and like I said, I want to read them a little more because it's strange. But anyway, what's new, right? Okay, so I spent a lot of time talking about that visit, and if you read those articles, you'll see some old dates. You see, I've stopped on one, but I'm thorough and I go through everything, and those are posted today. We do know he's here today. So yeah, it's interesting, right? Okay, now we're moving on. This is from Friday. And you see, I put these words here. This says to me, something has got to happen soon. Stopgap spending. Iraq's budget ambitions clash with fiscal reality. So you can read it. It says a widening gap between Iraq's budgetary ambition and its fiscal capacity is forcing the government into stopgap financing measures, exposing how vulnerable the country's oil-dependent economy remains to even modest shifts in global energy markets. So you can read this. It's like this says they're reallocating tax trust funds. So remember, that's that maneuver they just did, what I called robbing Peter to pay Paul. So that wasn't a good look. Then they talk about the budget and the numbers that are in the budget, and we're still waiting for the budget, right? Revenue rigidity. So, yep. Here's vulnerability, but why? Because they're on the oil only budget. But once they're allowed to revalue, and don't mess with me about that word. I don't care. RIRV, whatever. Don't mess with me about that word. It's a rate change. I don't care what two letters you put in front of it. It's the rate change, and that's what we're here for. Okay? Anyway, so when that happens and those laws get passed that protect investors, all of this will be null and void. But, so you can, like I said, you can go here and you can read all of this. They talk about Safwan Kwasi. He has input on it. Tools available, but reforms lag. Now, this is the last paragraph. For now, Iraq is not in immediate fiscal crisis, but the warning signs are evident. So they're running out of leeway, right? They're running out of, let's shift this here and put that there. More eyes are on them. So, yeah, they're going to have to do something soon. I really believe that, which is good. It's good. All right. So here, so now this is today from Sudani, and I'm probably just going to read the headlines. Sudani says Baghdad will remain a source of strength and power and a pillar in Arab decision making. The U.S. Secretary General, he was there, and he made a press statement. Look at all the all the microphones there. We are pleased with the positive development taking place in Iraq. So he is the UN. So we've had the World Bank, we've had the IMF. Now the UN is saying there's positive developments taking place in Iraq. That's all good. All good. Doesn't mean we're going to the bank tomorrow. I'm not even going to read this. I put this here because it's Mohammed Saleh, so we know he goes out and he talks on TV and talks to the people. And so here, actually, if you're new, if you 6 months into this, you might want to read this. It's one of the forgiveness. Let me see. Well, see this here. It says Paris Club Agreement, but it's not that one. This one has to do with debt, and I don't know if we helped broker it or if Shabibi did it by himself, but they came. The country of Iraq owed money to whoever countries, I guess, other countries. So when we came in, we put this, notice the year, 2004, Paris Club Agreement. So they met with all the countries of pre-1990 conflicts under the former regime and basically did okay, if you will forego this amount of debt in the future, we'll pay this debt, but at the higher rate of the money, right? So they have to stay in touch with these countries because they're still waiting to get paid. And so that's what this is talking about. And it's about this time. It's about the proper time for this conversation to be had. It's right around the IMF time, that that report that was no, the one before this, in the my FX Buddy episode before this one. So there was that official report from the IMF. We should hear this week if our new president is going to extend 13303, and then making sure they follow up. Hey, where's our money? Right? Yeah, so everything is in line, going as it should. All right, the summit establishes promising economic partnerships. Oh boy, look how small that font is. Mohammed Saleh again, talking to the people. So you could read this. It talks about the development road. Oh, there were like 4 fund projects established. So I guess they're like, yeah, hey, on your way out, see those buckets over there? Why don't you drop a little something in each of them? Because it's not just for Iraq, it's for the Arab. Like they want to make an Arab bloc, so yeah. But the development road project, that they talked about that. So if you want to read that, it's there on the blog. He added, so this is Mohammed Saleh, added that Iraq possesses the 3rd largest oil reserves in the world, which who knows if that's true, right? Anyway, in addition to promising opportunities in the field of renewable energy, making it one of the most important pillars of energy and development in the region and the world. These factors, according to the speaker, constitute a strong incentive for the success of the summit and strengthen Iraq's economic and strategic position simultaneously. And let me just show you. Here is China's CPECC, whatever that stands for, bags contract for Total's Iraq gas scheme. But guess what? They want you to join. I'm like, no, thank you. Because after they ask you to join, then they start asking you to pay. But yeah, so here's another project with China. And here's another gas and oil fired, right? So you can't tell me, yeah, Iraq is seriously trying to increase revenue from other sources, but come on now. Really? Okay, but Ethos Energy. So I don't know if this is Italian. See, it says Italian. Maybe it's Greek. I don't know, but this is another country making a deal with Iraq. And then also, look, Siemens Energy. It uses their turbines. So the 3-year contract. Yeah, so they're making contracts, making moves. All right, I just wanted to show you that. I'm not posting that because, just wanted to show it to you. And so this article is really long. Trade exchange, but so I bolded the I bolded the subtitles. So if you scroll down, there's maybe one you may want to read. Capital flow, bridges of trust, financial surpluses. See, wealthy Arab countries, if you have a surplus, you should give to others. Therefore, the doors are open to an influx of Arab and regional investments. Lyria needs to be rebuilt. Parts of it need to be rebuilt. And then Gaza. And what else is being bombed? Oops. I didn't mean to say that, but I said it. There's one other, well, like, they're working on Iraq. They're working on it. But there is one other, Lebanon, Beirut, I think. I think they're working on Beirut. So that would be Lebanon, right? Yeah. Yep. All right. Strategic relations and trade balance. Okay. Sudani launches the Arab Covenant for economic reform. So this is short. You can read that if you like. There's another one here. Arab Reform. It's like 28 pages, all in Arabic. So no, I won't be reading that. But here's other things they want to fight. They want to coordinate security, combat terrorism, combat drugs, organized crime. And sadly, drugs, and I'm trying to think who's bringing them in. Who would do that? I mean, because they're literally hurting their own people. Like, if you don't know about drugs in American history, they were brought in, we know, by our government and flooded in certain areas, right? There's lots of movies now that show that. So it's no longer a conspiracy. But these countries they're not melting pots. For the most part, they're pretty much the same, right? So then they're allowing the drugs in. Why? I don't get it. Is there a certain segment of people that they want to wipe out? I don't get it. Anyway, so here's my one commercial. Buy me a coffee. That will be a live link when the blog goes live, and that is the QR code. And here again, we have, matter of fact, I wanted to show you. So things seem to be going well. So you can read this. Our president states Tehran wants to reach an agreement with Washington on its new program, right? But they're still saying they haven't received, let's see, they're still saying they haven't received anything in writing. All right. Maybe it's this one here. Yes. Okay. So look, and this you have to go to the blog for because, again, I'm not posting these. But so our president says what I just said, right? And this is a different publication. The one that I showed you actually comes out of London or somewhere, right? But look, right next to that, we have Khomeini, and he likens Ice Cream Land to a cancerous tumor and vows to eradicate it from its roots. So, is this just rhetoric that they just have to throw out into the media every now and then? How is it on one side there's such positive reports? Because Khomeini supposedly said, well, we'll consider freezing part of our program, right? But yeah, so then they still show him saying things like that. Okay. And Here's another. During the Baghdad summit, Iraq prepares to present a modern economic vision, the outlines of which were drawn by Sudani, even though it just says Sudani. Okay, that's it. So thank you. I know it was boring, but I wanted to do this one today, especially emphasis on the Kurds are here. There's a delegation from the Kurds here, I think just for the weekend. And I'm hoping tomorrow will be a good news day, back to regular type of news, right? All right. Thanks for listening. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. And wherever you are, since I don't report regularly, if you join, follow, subscribe, what's the other one? I think that's it. If all things work like they're supposed to, when I do an update, you'll be notified. All right, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And until next time.